That night, the rain poured so heavily it felt like the sky was trying to wash the entire city away. Artyom was heading home after a late shift. The last bus had already left. Taxis weren't answering, and his phone battery was almost dead. Then an old bus with no route number slowly stopped near the station. The doors opened by themselves. Inside, a dim yellow light flickered. Only a few passengers sat silently in the cabin. Artyom froze. The bus looked impossibly old. Rust covered the metal, and the windows were fogged from the inside. "Are you getting in or not?" the driver rasped. The voice sounded wrong, too hoarse, as if the man hadn't spoken for years. Artyom sat near the exit. The doors slammed shut. The bus began moving. At first, everything seemed normal. Wet streets, streetlights, rain sliding across the glass. But after several minutes, Artyom realized something strange. They had been driving far too long. The route should have ended already. He looked out the window. The city was gone. Only a black forest surrounded them. The trees stood unnaturally close to the road, as if reaching toward the bus. Artyom stood up. "Where are we going?" No one answered. The passengers remained perfectly still. Then he noticed a woman sitting ahead. Her head hung too low, as if her neck had been broken. "Hey!" The woman slowly raised her face. She had no eyes, only empty black holes. The lights flickered, and suddenly every passenger turned toward him at the exact same moment. One had no face. Another was missing his lower jaw. A man in the back held his own detached arm. Artyom stumbled backward. "Stop the bus!" The driver started laughing, quietly, like rusted metal scraping together. Then the voice whispered, "Too late." The bus accelerated. The forest outside blurred into darkness. Artyom rushed to the doors, locked. He started pounding the windows. Then he noticed words scratched into the glass. "Don't look at the driver." His heart stopped. Slowly. Very slowly. Artyom looked toward the mirror above the driver's seat and saw it. The thing behind the wheel had no skin, only blackened flesh stretched into a massive smile. But the eyes were the worst part. Pure white, completely white. The creature stared directly at him through the mirror, smiling. The bus suddenly stopped. The doors opened. Outside stood an empty crossroads in the middle of the forest. "Your stop," the driver whispered. Artyom ran out. The doors slammed shut behind him. The bus disappeared into the darkness. Moments later, even the headlights vanished. Artyom stood alone. The forest was completely silent. No wind, no rain, nothing. Then he heard footsteps behind him. Slow. Wet. One step. Another. He turned around. The passengers from the bus stood on the road, all of them, watching him. Then they started walking toward him, slowly, broken, like dead puppets. Artyom ran into the woods. Branches cut across his face. Mud dragged at his feet, but the footsteps behind him kept getting closer. He could hear breathing, whispers, and something else, a sound like smiling. Then, through the trees, he saw a house, old, falling apart. He rushed inside and slammed the door shut. Silence. Dust covered the furniture. Then he noticed photographs hanging on the wall. One showed the exact same bus. Below it was a date, 1987, highway forest crash, all passengers dead. Artyom's hands turned cold. He searched through old newspaper clippings. One article read, "Some bodies were never found." A floorboard creaked upstairs. Someone was walking above him, slowly. Heavy footsteps. Step, step, step. Then he heard the driver's rasping voice. "We forgot one passenger." The light bulb above him went out. Darkness swallowed the house, and right beside his ear something whispered, "Now you ride with us." The next morning police found the house empty. No Artyom, no traces, only an old photograph of the bus. And among the dead passengers stood a new figure, a young man in a wet jacket, looking directly into the camera, smiling.